Hey, it's me, Renee. I'm back. So this fall, I've been doing a boo boo. I've been doing something bad. I've been doing TBRs for every month and then for every readathon, but I've forgotten to do wrap ups. And then kind of after September, it's like okay, should I do one in October? Yeah, and then should I do one in November? Okay. Actually, I didn't want in November. Well, for the non-fiction books, but yeah. But I decided, okay, instead of doing late wrap-ups, I'm simply gonna do recent or fall favorites. So this is reads I read books I read in the fall that I love. So instead of like normal wrap up, you generally talk about all the books that you read during a specific time. This is the highlights. And also, I mean, in the world we live in, where so much is just and crappy, isn't it kind of good to focus on good things? Yeah, so this is me focusing on the good things, on the books that wowed me and just blew me away. So yeah, also I suppose consider this a recommendation video because obviously it is. And a moment I had a thing on the camera, on the phone, on the computer. But yeah, so yeah, let's start. And as usual, there's not really a specific order to this one. First, we have Crazy Stupid Romance by Lisa K. Adams. So this is the book series. It's the third one in the book series. Third one, second one. It's in the book series. The Romance Book Club. I've read this one and in Undercover Romance. Why? Well, Undercover Romance I read during the spring, during summer, so it doesn't count. But I really enjoyed that one as well. But yeah, this is just a great romance series adult romance series set with just wholesome characters where all of them are so good. None of them are jackasses. They tease people, they tease each other now and then, but they're not bullying at all, and they just have such great ideals and thoughts and minds, and they're just so open. And also the romances are also always so well written, and this one is, yeah, just very good. It's This one is lovers, sorry, lovers. I was like lovers, no. That would be weird to have romance where you have lovers romance. I suppose you could have lovers and then they argue and then they get back together. Well, that's more second chance romance. Anyway, sorry. This is friends to lovers romance. And yeah, I just really enjoyed it so much. And yeah, recommend it so much if you want a romance to pick up. Then, sorry. And up next, we have a controversial one. It was talked a lot about before it came out. And then, well, okay, controversial. I haven't seen that many people reviewed, but then again, I'm not all on BookTube all the time, so there could be people reviewed that I just didn't see. But I saw recently people talked about it because it's on the Goodreads Choice Awards, the Goodreads, yeah, Goodreads Choice Awards, and people said like, why is that there? And they felt like it wasn't that worthy and wasn't good, and that made me like, what? Because I really enjoyed it. It is an anthology, so I didn't love all of them, but all in all, I didn't hate any of the stories. Well, this is me just kind of talking a lot, and you might guess also already what it's about. It is Blackouts by Andrew Thomas, Nick Stone, Daniel Clayton, Tiffany D. Jackson, and Ashley Woodfolk, and Nicola Yoon. And yeah, I very much enjoy this. Someone said they should have gotten black romance authors to write this instead of people who don't really usually write romance, because the authors in the authors behind this, they're all authors. The authors are all authors. I suppose they could be debut authors, but a debut author still an author if you finish a book. Oh, anyway, they're all established authors, but none of them have kind of written romance. Well, I would say except Nicola Yoon. I mean, she wrote Everything, and The Sun is also a Star, which both are romances, I would say. Instructions for Dancing, I would say also is a romance. So it's more kind of, because of the ending, it's more on the fence. Is it romance? Is it a book heavily filled with romance. But yeah, anyway. So yeah, other people didn't really enjoy this, or I don't, I didn't quite catch if they didn't like it at all, if they just thought it could be much better done. I'm not quite sure that they didn't really talk about it much, but yeah, they didn't love it. I, because it's here, I really enjoyed it. I loved it. I love the whole aspects, yeah, whole aspects of being in New York with lights out, and I love how all the characters that you had stories with were interconnected. I really enjoyed that as well, and yeah, I just really enjoyed it. It's not a big book at all, but yeah, honestly, I would recommend it if you want a short but also very interesting and fun read. I would say check it out. And also, if you pick it up and it ends up not being your cup of tea, well, it's not a big book, so it's not like you've wasted 1,000 pages on a bad book. No, it's a short book. So, yeah. So that's those two, and then we have Once Upon a Cry by Robin Stevens. So this is actually a collection of short stories. Few of them are already published. Am I an idiot now? Maybe they aren't. Let me check. Blah blah blah. Two of them, yeah, two of them are already published. Like have been published before as e-arcs as ebooks and kind of short story novellas, like World Book Day stories. But a lot of them are completely new. And yeah, I just love them so much. They all take place in the same universe, a Murder Most Unladylike universe, which is well, I was about to say middleweight. It's not middleweight. I would say maybe younger, young adults, because well, it's one of those series where they start at 11, and then each books they get older, so they kind of, so the book also kind of grows with the books. Like the first couple of books, they don't really talk about romance and stuff like that. In later parts of the series, it's more romance, not heavy, but more romance in it. So it's middle grade slash young adults, I would say. Genres, age limits. How do you talk about them? How do you define them? It's interesting. But yeah, and also like I would say that though that even if you're 12 or 13, I would say you can still read a whole series, because none of the books have any like, well, it's a crime series, it's historical mystery, so they have crime in them, but there's no gore, there's no there's no gore and bloody blood. You won't get nightmares from it. And also, there's no sex scenes. So if you're 12, 11, you probably might not want sex scenes, and yeah, you won't get them in this series. And yeah, I just really enjoyed this book. It just lots of small short stories. I actually still haven't read one of them. I wasn't in the mood for one of them, but yeah, the ones I read, I very much enjoyed. Highlight of my reading fall. Obviously, it's in this video, and yeah. But yeah, some of this series, some of these stories, I would say you need to read the whole rest of the series to understand. But some of them can stand alone, and you don't need to read them in the order. But I would say the last two, you kind of need to read them in order, because if you read them first, you'll be spoiled for something that happens earlier in the series. So yeah, so you know that, and yeah. Yeah, this is Norwegian because I got an arc. But yeah, The Man Who Died Twice by Richard Osman. But also, honestly, I'm also going to also mention the first book he wrote, which was, and I'm not just completely blanking out, sorry, The First Day Murder Club. The First Day Murder Club came out last year, but I read both of these books in this fall. I don't know why I didn't, yeah, yeah. And yeah, they're both so amazing. How would you describe them? I suppose cozy murder ish, I suppose in a way. I haven't read that many cozy murders, but I would say like if you like Agatha Christie, check out this, because there's murders, but it's also like really great characters, and like the murders are not like the murders are impossible. So it's not like you have you have no, you don't have a locked room, but you have locked room-ish scenarios. So it's not like you know from the get-go what's going on. It's kind of very mysterious what happened, and it's just very funny and it's so well done. And yeah, honestly, I would say Richard Osman, and also kind of interesting because this is his first books in general. He hasn't written anything before this. This is his first get-go, and it's just amazing. Um, so yeah, he's just a fabulous author. He's also been for a long time on the bestseller list in the UK. So yeah, that's kind of that's with the that's that's because he deserves it. Definitely deserves it. And yeah, it's just amazing. It's just yeah. I was just kind of thinking what I was about to say. And yeah, honestly, you might think like, is this a bit what I'm gonna say now? Is this a bit too happy? But you know, no, honestly, I would actually say this is one of my all-time favorite books now. It's just so amazing. I don't really have any faults with it at all, and it's just so good. So like, I don't really have anything to complain about. Then yeah, it's one of my favorite books of all time. Everyone needs to read it. You need to do it. If you like crime or not, I don't really think you need to like crime to read this because it's not really typical crime, or I haven't read that much crime, but yeah, it's not like, at least in Norway, often a lot of crime books are like they're featured around police who's drunk all the time. They can't really work with life. They're just bad people. Bad people. They don't really work in social circles and stuff. They don't have a family and they're a lone wolf and all that stuff. But they also always manage to solve the crime, of course. I mean, the murders are set in a small town in England, town in England, and the detectives are a bunch of pensioners, and also these pensioners are just so well written characters, and it's just yeah, amazing, amazing. So yeah, you need, if you don't read anything else of this books in this video, read this book. Read it. Then I have a few more books that are audiobooks. So I'm just gonna find titles here. And audiobooks. I listen to audiobooks. Well, they are audiobooks as well as not audiobooks. Most books nowadays are both audiobooks and not. I suppose sometimes you have books that are just on audio. This isn't one of those, but yeah. So I end up also listening to Princess Florinda and the 47th Staircase. I think it's original long title, but yeah, let's just call it Princess Florinda. It is by, and I'm blanking out. I'm pretty sure it's by the author who wrote the Ninth, Getting in Ninth, which is Tamsin. Yeah, it's by Tamsin Muir. I can't remember now. It's by Tamsin Muir. But yeah, this is a fairy tale remix. It's not a fairy tale retelling because it's not Rapunzel retold or Snow White retold, but it takes fairy tale esque tropes like the damsel in distress, the witch, the prince and the princesses, and the challenges they have to find to. So it's both slightly Sleeping Beauty-ish, but it's just very loosely. But yeah, it's kind of takes those tropes and then puts them on their head really, and it's just yeah, it's very cool. I listened to it on audiobook, and it's not a long book. It's just kind of 4 hours long. Yeah, no, actually 2 hours long. It's not long at all, like 2 or 4 hours on audiobook. So I suppose it would probably be a very thin book, like pocket book or hardcover book. And yeah, it's just so good. And yeah, also at one point it's kind of scary, and I listened to it on like on an audio on in the middle of the day. Well, at like 3 o'clock in the even in the afternoon. It was still sun outside, but I was like, oh, I have to look at the sun because I was kind of scared. So just warning, it's a bit scary here and there. But for the most part, it's just done so well, and it's so funny and so thought provoking, and yeah, it's just an amazing story. I just highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. And also, it doesn't hurt that the narrator was amazing. A narrator, and you're probably gonna ask me who the narrator is. Think it was more your quirk after double check, but it wasn't just amazing narrator. And then I also listened to The Unhoneymooners by Christina Henry. Actually, I was supposed to say my first Christina Henry book. It isn't. I tried autobiography a few years ago, DNF'd it, didn't really enjoy it. But on the honeymooners, just kind of randomly found it on my audiobook app, and I thought, you know what? I want to listen to you. So I started, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's set in, it's kind of a enemies to lovers trope. Well, ish. I mean, the love story kind of moves a bit quickly ish. Like in the beginning, they're kind of butting heads, but pretty soon, pretty soon they have to get along, and they do get along. But I suppose it's not like they go from kissing to like now we're engaged. It's a slow-ish thing. But also they kind of know each other from before, so they're like so the setup is that these two people at the beginning of the book, very beginning, there's a wedding, and the sister of one of them and the brother of one of them are getting married. So of course these two people have to be there, and then on in the wedding, everyone else gets food poisoning, but these two people didn't eat the food, so they don't get food poisoning. And the honeymoon that the wedding people were supposed to go on is non-refundable. So these other two people go on the honeymoon, have to pretend they're married, and that they're called the other names because you can't change the names. So that's kind of like fake dating comes in hand in a way. And also it's set in Hawaii, so it's kind of had a Hawaii setting. It's very enjoyable, but also like pretty soon there's this kind of mystery thing where you kind of notice soon that they kind of have different opinions on their siblings' relationship. Like one of them thinks that a relationship is kind of like this, and one of them thinks no, it's more like this. And I kind of talk together like, why do you think this? And why do you think this? So it's not mystery, but it's mystery-ish, I would say. And yeah, I very very much enjoyed it. Also heard it's supposed to be a movie, so yeah, that's exciting. Also, supposedly it's very popular on BookTube. Not BookTube, well, probably BookTube as well, but also BookTok. Yeah, I approve so much. If you want to check out, sorry, I'm just blinking. A romance, check that one out. And then lastly, we have Hangman's Holiday by Dorothy L. Sears. So it was my first Dorothy L. Sears read. I read it back in September, and it's actually I didn't really know before I started, but it's actually a collection of short stories, so short mysteries. But yeah, it was just a very delightful, fun way to get into that person, which is Lord Peter Wimsey. And yeah, he's from. The books are set in between the Second and First World War, so it's in that time period. So it's old crime, but it's also like often it's set in high society. So I suppose kind of Hercule Poirot-ish. If you kind of want Hercule Poirot, but you read all of them, I would say yeah, try out Lord Peter Wimsey. And yeah, I enjoyed all of them. I also read another Peter Wimsey book afterwards called The Mystery at Bologna Club. Honestly, that one was a bit eh, but it wasn't awful, but it was just eh. And that's why I don't talk about it here. And yeah, that's the amazing reads from this fall. If you have any comments and thoughts about them, please tell me down below. And I'll talk to you soon. Uh, yeah, I'm not sure if I'm gonna do like one video every day until 24th. 24th. A lot of people are doing that. It's like Christmas vlogathon. I'm not sure I want to do that, but I might like at least this week. I'm having a lot of videos up, and I'm planning to do a lot of videos. So I might do more than normal, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Bye.